Jake was nearly 50 when he finally settled down for the first time. At 48, he married Amanda, a woman just stepping into her 30s. She had just turned 30 when they tied the knot, and though friends and family muttered warnings about their 18-year age gap, Jake refused to let their doubts poison what he felt. People told him it was doomed, that she belonged to a younger, freer generation with values that wouldn't match his own. But Jake didn't listen. He was intoxicated by her presence. The idea of coming home to someone so lively, so vibrant, gave him a rush like he hadn't felt in years. Their first meeting had been nothing extraordinary, at least on the surface. Jake was having lunch with a business partner at a cafe when Amanda walked in with a few girlfriends. She had a cup of coffee in her hand, laughing freely, and Jake couldn't take his eyes off her. Something about her energy, untamed, bright, unbothered, pulled him in. By the time he left that cafe, he had already managed to strike up a conversation with her. It didn't take long before the two were dating, sharing small, tender moments that made Jake feel decades younger. Flowers left at her door, late-night walks through quiet streets, hours spent in easy laughter. Amanda's youth fueled him. He often thought he could conquer the world if it meant hearing her laugh again or feeling her small hand in his. At the time, Amanda was working in human resources. Jake would often suggest, half seriously, half hopefully, that she quit and let him provide for her. But Amanda was firm in her independence. She refused to become financially dependent on him. Jake would sit and watch her in the mornings as she got ready, her sun-kissed skin glowing in the light, her jeans fitting snugly as she pulled them on, her voice casual as she talked about work. "I interviewed a couple of people yesterday," she said one morning while buckling her belt. "One of them starting today." Jake loved hearing her talk with such passion, loved that she had her own world outside of him. That evening he picked her up after work, and they went out for dinner. He was used to the glances strangers gave them when they entered restaurants together. The way people raised their brows at the sight of a man pushing 50 with a striking 30-year-old woman. But instead of shame, Jake wore it as a badge of pride. Over plates of steaming food and the sound of live music drifting through the air, Jake asked about her day. "So did you end up hiring anyone?" Amanda smiled and nodded. "Yeah, two actually, Ben and Stacy." The name didn't mean anything at the time. They went on with their evening, laughing, sharing bites of food, Jake's hand resting on her thigh under the table as she gave him a playful, tipsy smile that filled him with warmth. But as the weeks turned into months, Jake noticed Amanda changing. She was softer, more affectionate, cooking at home more often, clinging to him in ways she hadn't before. At first, Jake took it as a blessing. He even joked one night, "What's gotten into you? It's like you're making up for something." She had laughed it off, teasing, "Unless you don't like it?" He kissed her deeply then, assuring her he loved it, but beneath that reassurance was a seed of unease. Her phone, once left lying around casually, was now always face down. It buzzed constantly, and she angled the screen away from him whenever she checked it. When Jake asked, she brushed it off with ease. "Work's insane right now. I need to be reachable." The first true crack appeared on a night she was working late. Jake, trying to be thoughtful, sent her a quick text, "I'll come pick you up." She read it, but never replied. Still, he drove to her office and parked outside waiting. Minutes later, Amanda emerged, not alone. A young man trailed beside her. He couldn't have been more than 19 or 20, looking every bit a kid compared to Jake. They hugged quickly before parting ways, both smiling. Jealousy burned through Jake, sharp and unforgiving. He honked, and Amanda looked up, waved, then slipped into the passenger seat. "Who was that?" Jake asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Oh, just a coworker. Remember I told you about Ben?" "That's him," Amanda said lightly. "He's so shy. 19. Can you believe it?" She laughed, and for a moment, Jake let himself breathe. If she spoke of him like a child, maybe it really was nothing. Maybe it was his own paranoia. But Amanda kept staying late. And every time Jake went to pick her up, Ben was there. The unease grew into something heavier, pressing against Jake's chest. He tried not to bring it up again, remembering the last time he had voiced suspicion. That argument had blown up into chaos. Amanda storming out, staying in a hotel for a week. Jake had been terrified of losing her, so he swallowed his doubts. He tried to live with the gnawing feeling. Until one warm summer evening when she once again wasn't answering his texts. This time, Jake couldn't sit still. He drove to her office and saw the light still glowing on the third floor. His heart hammered as he climbed the stairs, each step a drumbeat of dread. The hallway was silent. Her office door was cracked open, and from inside came muffled sounds, soft gasps, stifled moans. Jake's blood ran cold. Without a second thought, he pushed the door open. The scene seared itself into his memory in an instant. Amanda, shirt cast aside, knees on the floor in front of Ben. The boy's pants around his ankles. Ben froze in terror, fumbling to pull his pants up, while Amanda scrambled to cover herself, her face hidden in shame. Rage overtook Jake. In 3 strides he had Ben by the collar, his fist raised. The kid whimpered, tears spilling, a pathetic sound that stopped Jake just enough to loosen his grip. Ben bolted from the room, leaving Amanda trembling on the floor. Jake's voice broke as he asked, "What did I do wrong, Amanda? I gave you everything." Amanda sobbed, her words spilling out in a flood of guilt. "Jake, I don't know. I couldn't stop thinking about him. I don't know what's wrong with me." She clung to him, kissing his cheeks, whispering apologies through her tears. "Please forgive me. I'm so sorry." Jake tried. For months he tried. But every kiss, every embrace was haunted by that image burned into his mind. The betrayal played on a loop, Amanda on her knees, Ben's face above her. They fought constantly, their home poisoned by anger and shame. After half a year, Jake couldn't take it anymore. He told her to leave. Divorce papers followed soon after. In the quiet that came after, Jake thought of the life he once imagined. When he was younger, he had dreamed of a big dog, a fine car, and the freedom to just drive away, to chase the horizon. Maybe now, broken as he was, it was time to chase those dreams at last. Trust, he realized, might take years to rebuild, if it ever returned at all. Amanda stayed at the company for a while before moving away. She remarried, but that union crumbled too. She had a child, tried to rebuild her life, but even Ben, who followed her to that new city, couldn't offer her lasting happiness. Their attempt at something fizzled out as quickly as it began. Jake, watching from a distance, could only conclude that maybe this was life's way of settling the score. Amanda had thrown away the one who loved her most. And fate, it seemed, was not about to let her forget the cost of that betrayal.